Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Overwatch. I've been playing this game a ton as of late. It came out like, what, a week ago? And I already have like 26, 27 hours played in the game. I've been really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. I put in 21 hours into the beta before the live version of the game even came out, so you can definitely say I'm kind of in love with this game. I've been playing it a lot, so I figured I would share some Junkrat gameplay with you guys for this week's episode of Dear Nero, which of course is the weekly series here on my channel, where subscribers send me in fan mail and or fan questions, and I do ask and answer them. So we have a number of great questions this week, although I am getting a late start to making this week's episode because of the most awful excuse ever. I forgot today was Wednesday. ladies and gentlemen. When you're a YouTuber, your life is just so much different than that of a typical adult. You ask a normal adult, what's the day of the week? And they're probably going to know. You ask a YouTuber who makes his own schedule, probably they're not going to know. And this past Memorial Day weekend really messed up my schedule because I did a lot of things on Sunday and Monday. And so today felt like Tuesday for me because Monday felt like Sunday. And just I'm all screwed up here in terms of my my scheduling, I suppose. But nonetheless, the show must go on. We gotta make this week's episode of Dear Nero, so I hope you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy the video, although it might be a little bit shorter than other episodes because, again, I'm getting a very late start to making this week's episode. We have a number of great questions this week, and let's start with the questions on Twitter. We're going to be getting this one where he's going to write, Dear Nero, have you ever thought of scrapping your second channel to only upload to your main? Have a great day, Raj from Rocket City. Raj, I have never actually considered deleting or just stopping making videos on Nero's Let's Plays, my second channel, to only upload to NerosCinema. I made Nero's Let's Plays back in January of 2012. That was when I got partnered with Machinima, and at the time, part of their deal was, okay, we're going to partner your main channel, NerosCinema, here, but we're also going to allow you to partner a second channel if you have one. And I didn't even have a second channel, so I made Nero's Let's Plays just so I could partner a second channel, because a popular thing that you see a lot of Call of Duty YouTubers do is they have a backup channel, right? They have a Let's Play channel behind their main one because Call of Duty fans, and this sounds like a dig, but I think most people just kind of accept it as fact, Call of Duty fans are not very good at adapting to other games, or at least being open to other games, I suppose. You look at any Call of Duty channel ever, if they upload something that's not Call of Duty, typically the views get cut in half, or sometimes even worse than that. And so what a lot of channels do is they say, okay, we're going to make this whole separate channel for other games, and so if you guys want to go watch that stuff, go subscribe to that channel. And that's what you see a lot of people do. I mean, every single COD channel has a Let's Play channel, guys. I mean, just look at them down the line. So I did the same thing back in 2012. I made Nero's Let's Plays, and it's been a passion project ever since. Now, when I say it's a passion project, that means I don't break the bank with Nero's Let's Plays. I don't make a ton of money from it or anything like that. I just like making videos on that channel. I like making content out of other games I played that aren't just Call of Duty. I think a lot of people forget that YouTubers are doing this as their job, as their career. Sure, they can enjoy their job and career, but it is still a job, and so I put all my time and effort into NerosCinema because this is my source of income. But I also do Nero's Let's Plays as a fun side project because I really enjoy making YouTube videos. I looked up the stats on this. I have 1,921 videos here on NerosCinema. This is my 1921st video here on NerosCinema, and on Nero's Let's Plays, I have 971 videos. That's a freaking ton of videos, and I just continue to make more and more every single day because I love making YouTube videos. I love gaming. I love YouTube. I just put the two together, then bam, here's NerosCinema, here's Nero's Let's Plays. And so I enjoy making content for both channels, and I don't ever envision myself wanting to scrap Nero's Let's Plays to only upload to NerosCinema. I don't see a reason why I would want to do that. Sure, Nero's Let's Plays takes a lot of time to do because all the videos are so freaking long, but I enjoy making those videos. It's a passion project, and I'm not going to get rid of it ever. The next question is going to be coming in from Victor on Twitter, who is going to write, Dear Nero, do you think that more people will play Modern Warfare Remastered online than Infinite Warfare? That's a very good question. It really is. I think a lot of people think that Modern Warfare Remastered is going to be a wild success because I think a lot of people think that Infinite Warfare is just going to be this horrible, horrible game, and they shall pin you to the cross should you dare have the audacity to have a positive opinion of what we've seen so far from Infinite Warfare. How dare you, sir, you sellout, you whore, for possibly having a positive opinion of this game that we know nothing about. How dare you? I don't understand it, man. The amount of flack that I got for having a positive opinion and not just hating Infinite Warfare for the sake of hating it is absurd. But I feel also Infinite Warfare is going to have more people playing it, especially in the first week, the first month, right? Because when a new Call of Duty game comes out, a lot of people play it. And so I think the game is going to be successful, at least for the first few months, because every COD game is successful for at least the first few months. And I envision Infinite Warfare having more people, but Modern Warfare Remastered is going to have a good number of people on it as well. I just think Infinite Warfare is going to have more because it's going to be a new Call of Duty game. Modern Warfare Remastered could be a potentially amazing game. We just have to see at E3 what they're going to be doing with it, what they're going to be changing, and I have to bring this up every time because there's always one or two people that are like, Nero, they said they're not changing anything. No, they did not. What they said in their little press reveal on that was they weren't going to be adding anything to the game. They said we're going to have the same guns and perks and maps. They're not going to be adding anything new to the game, but they didn't say they weren't going to be removing anything from the game, right? That's why I make videos like they need to have stop power. That's why I talk about these things so much, is because they didn't say they weren't going to be removing anything. They only said they weren't going to be adding anything. And so we're going to be learning more. Hopefully the game is good. Hopefully the game hopefully it does COD 4 justice. That's what I'm really hoping for. But I just don't think that there were that many people that played the game back in 2007. Therefore, I don't think there's going to be that many people that are going to be running on nostalgia as hard as I am. So there's probably not going to be that many people actually, playing the game, at least compared to Infinite Warfare. Now, we'll have to see as, the months go by. But I still think Infinite Warfare is going to have more players. And honestly, especially because since these two are bundled, I definitely think Infinite Warfare is going to be a best-selling game of 2016. Of course, time is going to have to tell. The next question is also going to be coming from Twitter. It's going to be coming from a guy named Max, who's going to write, Dear Nero, would you say that Overwatch is worth the $60 and should I get it? I love the beta, so I'm leaning towards yes. Max, I really, really enjoy Overwatch. It's a lot of fun. Now, I have like 27 hours played in the live version of the game. I put 21 hours into the beta. It's a very fun game that I was playing just today. It's a lot of fun. And do I recommend you buy it? I think you should at least try it. If you enjoy the beta, then I don't see a reason why you wouldn't like the live version of the game, because they literally didn't change anything. The beta was basically a demo, like most betas are in 2016. So yeah, it's really fun. But you just have to ask yourself this: are you going to pay the full $60? If you play on console, it's $40 on PC. Are you going to pay the full $60? I guess I should cover that real quick. Some people say, Nero, you're lying. It's not $40 on PC. It's $60. No, you're looking at the Origins Edition. If you actually look at the Standard Edition, it's $40. I don't know why they made it cheaper on PC, but it is for some reason. It's kind of hidden, but because when you first click on Overwatch in the Battle.net shop, it says the Origins Edition. I don't know why it does that. There's definitely a Standard Edition though that's $40 if you choose to get it. The Origins Edition just comes with extra skins and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to pay the $60 or $40, depending on what platform you're playing on, ask yourself this: do you want the game that is multiplayer only and doesn't feature a single player? Is that something you're okay with? Now, for me personally, I'm fine with that. I think I might do a video in the near future talking about, I don't think I like campaigns anymore. I'm so over campaigns. If I'm playing a game, if it's single player, it needs to be open world, and if it's multiplayer, then great. I love multiplayer. I think I'm so over the entire idea of a single player campaign anymore. I don't know. I'll have to make another video on that in the future. So maybe look out for that. But for me, it's a fun game. I enjoy playing it. Now, I am a bit biased in that I play with friends every night, and literally everything in the world is fun with friends. I mean, you could be playing the most boring game in the world, but if you have friends to play it with, it's going to be fun at least. They're going to have at least some fun playing, right? So maybe I'm a bit biased in that respect, but if you enjoy the beta, I'd say pull the trigger, play the game. You'll probably enjoy it because it's the same game that you saw in the beta. Next question, we're getting into YouTube questions here. He's going to write, Dear Nero, how do you continue to find creative video ideas? I have just started my channel and I've been making a ton of videos recently, but I find myself having to think very hard on what to make. Maybe I'm too harsh on myself because I watch a lot of different types of content, but I was curious to see if you have any way of thinking up new content. Michael from the Music City. So Michael, thank you for all your continued support of me and my YouTube channel. I see you in the comments of literally all of my videos. Thank you so much, man. But I'd like to welcome you, I suppose, to the eternal struggle of being a YouTuber. Like I mentioned, this is my 1921st video here on NerosCinema, and the vast majority of my videos here on NerosCinema are post-commentary, which means it's not live, it's done after the fact, right? And as a result, it can be definitely difficult to come up with video ideas. I'm over 1,900 videos in at this point, with almost all of them being post commentaries. At times, it's hard to come up with ideas. It's the same thing with writers. Writers get writer's block. TikTok. I think YouTubers get a form of that as well. It's sometimes difficult to come up with ideas of things you want to do or things you want to create. I do find, however, that the creative process can at times be self-sustaining. When you come up with one idea, typically you can branch that idea off into multiple things. Like, for example, just the other day, I decided to go back and play Call of Duty 4 for the first time in a couple of years. I had a lot of fun with that, and it was a live video, and because I've done live videos a lot here in NerosCinema, so that was, of course, interesting and something new. But by doing that, I had replayed Call of Duty 4, essentially, and that, of course, got the creative juices flowing, and I have a lot of different things I want to talk about with Call of Duty 4, and, of course, Modern Warfare Remastered is coming up, and so, of course, there's things I want to address that happened in COD 4 that I want to be in Modern Warfare Remastered, and lo and behold, I did a video on why Stopping Power and Jug need to be in the game, and that's how the creative process essentially works for me. It's typically self-sustaining, though at times it can be very difficult to come up with stuff. Again, you get that writer's block, which can be difficult. And what a lot of YouTube channels do, and this is just, I guess, inside YouTuber tips, I suppose, is when you see a Q&A video, that's typically because they didn't have anything they could come up with that day, although Dear Nero here is a little bit different because it's a weekly series. Typically, the Q&As are like when they're hitting that writer's block, they can't think of something they want to come up with that day, so they do probably the simplest thing in the world, which is answer questions. Another thing people do, but it's definitely a lot more difficult, it's definitely not as easy as it looks, is live commentary, live videos. Now, the advantage, obviously, is like you don't have to go up with an idea, right? When I come up with like a talking point or something of discussion, that's something I had to put a lot of time and effort into and thinking it up and forming an opinion and trying to put together in a video and so on and so forth. Whereas a live video is you're basically getting on, you're going to go play a game live, and you're hoping you either do something cool or something interesting happens, or maybe you do kind of what I do where you discuss the topic while playing live, which is even harder. I think it's why you see a lot of people doing live videos these days, is because the writer's block can definitely be difficult, and there's only so many topics of discussion out there, whereas it's a lot different type of a video to do something live, and of course it's very entertaining. I enjoy watching people play live, which is why I've done a couple of live videos recently, one with the original Black Ops, one with Call of Duty 4, and then of course live streaming is basically the same as doing a live video, but you're constantly doing it and there's no editing. It's all completely live, So in my experience, the creative process can at times be self-sustaining, although there are times where it can be difficult. It just comes down to, what do you want to talk about today? What video do you want to make? And that's the video that you should make. Don't make a video because you think that's what people are going to like, or that's what you think that you should make. Make the video that you want to make, and then you'll probably find that ideas kind of come to you a little bit easier. But it can be difficult, definitely. I understand. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now, something along those lines, so it can definitely be difficult, but just keep at it, and if you really have a passion for it, you'll eventually continue to come up with those ideas, and you'll continue to make videos, and hopefully you continue to have fun. So that's my advice. Once again, Michael, thank you so much for your continued support of me and my YouTube channel. The next question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, are you still thinking about ending Dear Nero at episode 200? And if you are, have you thought of a new series that's going to replace it if you choose to do so? Andrew from Illinois. Andrew, I don't know. I have no idea. We're getting closer and closer with each passing week to Dear Nero episode 200, which I don't even know what I would do with Dear Nero episode 200. Like, what could I do? I've seen suggestions for a live episode. Maybe that's something I could do. I don't know if I would even like a live episode, because if you guys don't know, my recording setup is completely terrible. I live on a corner, and I have loud vehicles driving by all of the time, and I always have to just edit those out and redo things, and it's so frustrating. Whereas if I did a live video, you would hear all the people that drive by with their very loud trucks and motorcycles, and it wouldn't be a good audio experience. And I don't know. I don't know what I would do with episode 200, but the big question is, will I continue after episode 200? I'm not sure. I don't know. Dear Nero is at an all-time low in terms of viewership. There just isn't a lot of interest in this series anymore, which may be rightfully so, because we're 200 episodes in. I mean, how many times can you listen to me answer questions, I suppose? I don't know. Every week we have new questions, which is interesting. There are some repeats here and there, but for the most part, it's usually new content. I don't know why viewership is at an all-time low. I really have no idea, but it's getting to the point where maybe we consider ending Dear Nero at 200 and then, going without it for a while and seeing how that goes, and maybe rebooting it later on. We'll have to see. But the thing about Dear Nero is you guys, the people that watch Dear Nero, the people that are this far into the video, you guys are the true fans of NerosCinema. You guys are the people that are not only just here for Call of Duty and news and tips and stuff like that, but you're here for me. You're here for Nero. You want to see my opinion. You want to hear my thoughts on different things and whatnot. So you guys are the true fans of NerosCinema. So I thank you guys so much for your continued support. And so when I think of it that way, it's like, how do I end the series that only my super fans watch? Like, that seems a little bit silly to me as well. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing after episode 200. We may end it. We may put it on a short hiatus. We may just continue on every single week. We'll have to see. But, yeah, I really don't know. It's a good question, though. It's a really good question. But I think a better question is, what do I do for episode 200? Do I do a super long Dear Nero? Do I try to do it live? Everyone's going to say live. I just don't know if I'd like that idea of doing a live Dear Nero. We'll have to see. Because then what do I do for gameplay? Like, I don't know. We'd have to figure something out. But, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to be doing with Dear Nero after 200. I really don't. The next question, he is going to write, Dear Nero, do you think that Call of Duty will ever return to its system of quote-unquote forced classes, which means having to have a perk 1, a perk 2, a perk 3, and etc., instead of having a pick 10 variant? Also, do you think it would be a good idea to bring back Stopping Power and Juggernaut in future Call of Duty games? Thanks, Harry from Massachusetts. Harry, that's a good question. It really is. Now, do I think they're ever going to go back to forced classes, similar to Call of Duty 4, where you had to have a perk 1? I guess, yeah, you had to have a perk 1. I guess you could glitch it so you didn't have a perk 1 by doing some tricky things with the foregrip, but you had to have a perk 1, a perk 2, and a perk 3. Whereas in newer games, you could choose not to have any perks, or have 6 perks, or have 2 perk 1s, or 2 perk 2s, or, so on and so forth. I think they're going to keep the pick 10 system because that system has the most customization, and I think if they were to go back to a forced setup, that it would feel just that. I think it would feel forced. I think people would feel as though there's less customization, like they're making less decisions and having less impact on the game, and not really feeling as though their class is really for them, rather than just having some sort of cookie cutter setup because they have to pick a perk 1, 2, and 3. I think pick 10 is probably better for the game as a whole, although I'm definitely not to discredit the idea that they would potentially go back to a 4 system. I just don't see it happening in the foreseeable future. And the second part of your question is, do I think that Stop Power and Jug are going to come back in future Call of Duty games? I don't. They're gone for good, man. They are definitely never coming back. Now, they worked in the games that they were in. Right, that's the thing. They worked in the games that they were in, but you couldn't just add them in again and expect people not to pick those all the time. If they were to come back, they would be like they were in Call of Duty 4 and be ridiculously powerful and borderline mandatory, with all the other perks basically playing second fiddle to them. And while that worked in Call of Duty 4, that went into greater detail in my video I made a couple of days ago. If you guys didn't check it out, I definitely recommend it. There's going to be a link to it in the video description as well as at the end of this video, where I discuss why Stopping Power and Juggernaut need to be in Modern Warfare Remastered. You'll see that they work in COD 4, but I don't think that they would work very well in future Call of Duty games. It definitely sounds like I'm having two opinions here, where it's like, oh yeah, Stopping Power and Jug, never have that again, but yes, keep it in COD 4 because it makes sense in COD 4. I know it sounds contradictory, but in reality, if you think about it and you watch that video especially, it's going to make a little bit of sense. So I guess that answers both your questions. Thanks for submitting them, Harry. The next and final question for this week's episode of Dear Nero, he is going to write, Dear Nero, I know a lot of people ask you about a World War II return in a Call of Duty game. Well, what if one of the developers do bring back World War II, but it's almost like a Wolfenstein where there's still robots and futuristic things like that? Love your videos, James from New York. James, what you're talking about is an alternate reality World War II Call of Duty game, and I would freaking love it. That would be sick. Now, here's the thing about Wolfenstein. I've heard nothing, absolutely freaking nothing but good things about Wolfenstein, yet I've never played it. I've even bought it on the Steam sale. I even have the DLC for it, the new Wolfenstein game, which is not even very new at this point. It's a couple years old, I think. I'm yet to play it. Now, essentially, I think the backstory for Wolfenstein is the Nazis won World War II. And yeah, the Nazis won World War II. The world is vastly different if that were to happen. It's an interesting alternate reality World War II style game. And it sounds like a lot of fun. I should probably go ahead and play that. But if they were to do that in the sense of a Call of Duty game, that would be a lot of fun. I think that would be sick. They should totally go down that route. That would be very, very cool. Oh man, what if that's what Sledgehammer has up their sleeves? Because there's always that talk that, Sledgehammer, when they were first originally working on a third-person Vietnam Call of Duty game, and then you have Advanced Warfare, of course, happening, and then you hear Michael Condrey talking about how he thinks World War II is one of the best narratives for games and movies and stuff like that, how he's very interested in the setting as a whole. What if the next, not Infinity War, but Sledgehammer game was going to be like an alternate reality Advanced Warfare style World War II game, where maybe they don't have exosuits, but they have some other stuff. That would be so sick. But yeah, I think that would be very cool. And now I'm thinking about, man, I should really start playing Wolfenstein. But gosh, man, between Call of Duty, now Overwatch, I'm doing a series on my channel for Madden, as well as Fallout 4, as well as just playing other games for fun in my spare time. It's like, gosh, I just don't seem to have enough time in the day to start up a new game right now. But we'll have to see if I ever actually play through Wolfenstein. It looks like a lot of fun. I should probably do that. But it's also a single-player campaign, which I hate single-player campaigns now. It's just, I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this week's episode of Dear Nero. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, please drop me a rating. And of course, if you guys would like to submit your questions for the next episode of Dear Nero, you simply send me a personal message here on YouTube by going to my YouTube channel, going to the About section, and from there, you find the send message button. Or alternatively, and this is actually kind of my preferred way for you guys to send in your questions, go to Twitter, tweet me at NeroTweets, and use hashtag Dear Nero. The reason why I like Twitter is because the questions are smaller, therefore, I can get through those questions a little bit faster, whereas sometimes people send me multiple paragraph questions. Well, sometimes those are good. They sometimes really break up the flow of the episode, whereas I spend, 10 minutes on one question and then the other 10 minutes on, 5 other questions. It just sometimes breaks up the flow and whatnot. So however you want to submit them, that is fine by me. YouTube or Twitter, it does not matter to me. Just be sure to submit them. If they're a good question, entertaining question, and above all, a question I feel as though would be good for the show, you may be featured in the next episode of Dear Nero. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Drop me a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.